Bass, then the Deputy Speaker, then the other member for Bass. Okay.
Thank you, Speaker. I rise this evening again to speak up on behalf of members of our community in the North East, and I do it with an expected tone of firm but positive expectations. This community have been making their position very clear about the need for childcare services in the North East, all around Dorset, not just in Scottsdale, in order that can support families and also support workforce participation. There's been a lot of mixed messages and there's been a lot of disappointment in that community about the way this has been handled by the government. However, after just recent days where plans have been submitted for approval, again without the inclusion of provision for childcare, there has been an offer to meet on Friday. The community will be meeting with the Minister, and so there's an expectation that, having said the Minister has heard, that there will be action. Raising false expectation in the community is actually cruel. Advertising the planning for this centre in Scottsdale to say and call it childcare when childcare wasn't included was cruel. The community was celebrating because of the title, because they thought they'd been heard and got an outcome, but that wasn't the case. So the message is to the Minister, when you meet with community on Friday, please be genuine and sincere with the words that you speak and what you share and with the outcomes, because ultimately the community have been crystal clear, as recently as a League meeting in Ringarooma, where they said there is a need for childcare now. The waiting lists show, particularly around the 0 to 3-year-olds, but there is no doubt that the community need built to standard facilities for childcare for 0 to 5-year-olds. Now, the one thing that can happen that can solve this and resolve it for the community is the plans that have been submitted to the Council for approval are withdrawn, they are corrected, there is provision to standard for childcare for 0 to 5-year-olds, and the community can rest at ease and then focus on another issue for their many needs in the North East, because they will have been heard and their expectations met. So standing here this evening with a firm but positive tone of expectation that the Minister, having said that she has heard that she will act, that those plans will be corrected and childcare provision will be provided to Dorset. Just recently, I had the opportunity for another conversation in community around childcare with other members from this place, visited Flinders Island, and again had a conversation there, had the opportunity to meet up with a local community member and discuss with the Mayor and other community members the long-held hope of increased childcare opportunities on the island. Childcare on the island isn't just what I mentioned before about opportunities for families, but also increases in workforce participation. Childcare is actually an anchor to everything happens on the island. If a farmer can't get access to childcare, they can't farm. If the nurse can't get access to childcare, they can't nurse. If a teacher can't get access, they can't teach. It is critical for that island. And for years, they have thanked and been grateful for the great service of Thrive on the island, but unfortunately the service is for limited hours, limited days a week, so short hours, 4 days a week. So in the immediate term, there's a hope that they can increase that to 5 hours a week, and in the long term, that there's a purpose co-located childcare provided at the school. There is no doubt right across Tasmania the provision of appropriate and relevant childcare for our community is essential. In Dorset, the Minister has an opportunity to do the right thing on Friday, and for the community on Flinders, there was a call out, in fact, from one of my colleagues, Mr Ferguson, who's in the chamber now, that we work together on this proactively in order to provide these outcomes for communities. These aren't political issues, these are community needs and expectations that our community can be looked after, that they can look after each other, and that they can thrive as a result of having the services that they need.
Honourable Deputy Speaker.